What are you looking at, butthead?
Alright, so it's my review for Safe House. It's from 2012. I watched it the other day just because I wanted to watch something a little more actiony, and never saw this. Denzel Washington's always seems to be a good choice. He's a great actor, so thought I'd throw this on, try it out. And it stars, well, just like I mentioned, Denzel Washington as Tobin Frost, and then Ryan Reynolds is the other lead. Plays Matt Weston. So Ryan Reynolds' character, Matt Weston, he is working at a safe house, and he's in South Africa. And right away, you just see that he's just really bored. Never has anything really happen at the house. He just has to make sure everything's ready to go in case somebody does come in. And then we see Tobin Frost. He is doing some sort of secret deal. A couple guys, things are being handed off, and secrecy and stuff like that, and somebody gets attacked, and then he goes on the run. And as he's running, he eventually goes into like the U.S. consulate in South Africa, and people, the higher ups and CIA, have to figure out what to do with him. A couple other characters are Brendan Gleeson plays kind of Matt Weston's boss, and then him and Vera Farmiga, she plays Catherine Linklater. She's another CIA boss or whatever, top person. They have to figure out what to do with him, and they decide to take him to the safe house that Matt's at. And so Ryan Reynolds will be there and let everybody in. And then right away we find out that Tobin Frost is just this big time get. He's been on the run, former CIA operative, and he's been just like off the grid for the last like 10, 15 years or something like that. And he's been selling CIA secrets to other people around the world. So they really wanted to get him, and they have to make sure they can get as much information out of him as they possibly can quickly. And so they bring him to the safe house that Matt's working at, and they have another group of people there to interrogate him right away. One of the main people there is played by Robert Patrick, aka T-1000. Him and his group there are there to interrogate him and stuff. They like start waterboarding him and everything. And then the house gets attacked, and everybody's fighting, and Matt decides to take Tobin with him and move him to another location to get him out of there. So they do that, and then the rest of the movie is kind of just like a chase film, trying to figure out what Tobin knows. You know, what's this secret that he has, like a chip at the beginning that he injects into himself, and trying to figure out what that is. And Matt's trying to figure out, you know, who is this guy. Eventually, it turns into like, you know, Tobin's actually doing good, and is Matt gonna, you know, help him or not? It's kind of that's the gist of the movie. It's unfortunately it's not that great. I thought it was gonna be a little more exciting. I guessed the ending pretty early on what was gonna happen, and it's a little textbook, unfortunately. I guess I'd read that it was on the script was on like the Blacklist a while ago, which is the best screenplays that were unmade. Was the Blacklist. So I'm really surprised that was on there because this just seems very basic. It was like your basic crime thriller CIA film, and I thought right away at the beginning they did something that was bad, or they should have done it a different way. They show Tobin Frost doing his whole getting this chip and stuff at the beginning, which, yeah, it sets it up, but then it kind of really diminishes the part later when they bring him into the CIA safe house where Matt's working, and they show him he's being brought in. He has like a black hood over his head, and they take it off, and he's like, holy crap, that's Tobin Frost. But we've already seen him. I think that would have worked a lot better if that might have been the beginning, where they have this kind of climactic build up to, you know, you got to get this room ready, get this safe house ready, or bring somebody in. It's like a huge get, you know, it's got to be super secure and all that. Get that built up, some of the tension, and then they bring him in, and he's, you know, bagged. And I guess you're obviously going to know that it's Denzel Washington because, you know, his name's all over it. But I don't know, I just thought it might have worked a little bit better. But yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't really work out at the end. I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. was hoping it'd be a little more like Man on Fire, which is like an amazing Denzel Washington movie where he's super badass and stuff. It's not really like that though. It's kind of had glimpses of 16 Blocks, the movie with Bruce Willis and Mos Def, or whatever his name he's going by now, where he has to get him a certain amount of, get him 16 blocks in New York while people are trying to hunt after him because people are hunting after Tobin Frost this whole time and stuff. And then of course it's almost impossible not to compare it to the Bourne franchise because again it's dealing with CIA and somebody that's really wanted by the CIA. So this, in my opinion, the Bourne movies are just incredible. Literally anytime a Bourne movie comes on TV, I'll just watch it. I'll just sit down and watch it. They're so good. And this is nothing compared to that. So this is definitely a movie that can be skipped. Denzel Washington's a really good actor. I feel like he's kind of gets some hit and miss movies in there, though. I haven't seen a lot of his last ones. I'm just looking right now on IMDb. There's a list of all his movies, like recent ones. So there's Unstoppable, Taking of Pelham 123, Flight, Two Guns, and Deja Vu. I've only seen Deja Vu's good. That's another one that he did with Tony Scott. I think I might have seen Taking of Pelham 123. I don't remember it. So yeah, he's a great actor, but I feel like a lot of times he gets in forgettable movies. So that's kind of unfortunate. And then I was also, I didn't know the director before I watched this. His name's Daniel Espinosa, which sounds like a Hispanic name, but he's from Sweden. I hadn't heard of him, but he's doing a movie soon, Child 44, which looks really good. Set in Russia, and stars like Tom Hardy and Gary Oldman and Noomi Rapace, like in the 50s, Russia, about children being kidnapped and murdered. That looks really good, so it'll be interesting because I wasn't really a big fan of this movie. So it'll be interesting to see how that movie turns out. So yeah, I'd definitely not recommend this movie. I don't think it's worth watching. Go watch a different Denzel Washington movie, either Man on Fire or Deja Vu if you haven't seen those, or maybe take a chance on one of those other new ones that haven't seen, so I can't recommend or not. So, yep, that'll be it.